Oh, fantasy gods, tell me. Oh, fantasy gods, tell me. Tell me, who should it be? Who should it be? Yes. I can't believe I didn't see it before. But yes. Yes. This week's the first week. Of course it should be. Of course it should be. The fantasy matchup of the week should be Manninception versus I Am the Wiener. Oh, fantasy gods, thank you. Thank you. It was hard. I had to pull on divine powers that usually I save just for my fantasy knowledge for myself. And not to make such hard decisions as who should be matchup of the week. It was a big tear because our current champion has fallen so far from the top. And going against I Am the Wiener, who has circled the drain the few years that he's been in the league. But, out of due respect, the fantasy gods, they know that no matter what, you must give respect to the champ. So, first week's match of the week, I Am the Wiener versus reigning, defending, not undefeated, champ, Manninception. We're going to go to the scorecards here, folks. ESPN has Manninception starting off their reign with a win. Projected as a 99 to 88 favorite in week one. I'm going to go line by line since it is matchup of the week and tell you if it's right, if it's wrong. And we all know that my projections are otherworldly and better than ESPN. But I mean, what can you say? I mean, ESPN is still better than, Yahoo. Anyhow, before I get going, I don't want it to fall flat. No. Anybody find that weird, though? That, all this stuff, the whole offseason, this whole freaking Deflategate shit, and yet nothing happened? I mean, all of it, really happened, and then yet nothing. Nothing. It took up 6 months. 6 months, and yet nothing came of it, other than some fines and shit for the team, which doesn't really matter anyhow. I mean, the two guys that they fired that were, the equipment people, supposedly are getting their jobs back too. Ridiculous, right? 6 months out of our lives, nothing to come of it. Disappointing. Anyhow, back to the matchup. Start at quarterbacks, right? We always start at quarterbacks. Manninception has Russell Wilson going against St. Louis. And I Am the Wiener with his homer quarterback, Ryan Tannehill of Miami, going against Washington. You gotta like Tannehill's matchup better going against Washington, especially after their offseason. They're all in a funk. Russell Wilson going against St. Louis. Always has played St. Louis really well. Projections say it's tied at 17-17. However, I have to give the edge to Tannehill this week. I'm going to keep him actually at 17, 18 points. Russell Wilson, I'm going to drop down to 14. Edge, Wiener. Running backs, C.J. Anderson, Carlos Hyde, Latavius Murray for Man Inception. And then for I Am the Wiener, Justin Forsett, Jonathan Stewart, Andre Ellington. It doesn't take a genius to know where the good meat is. And let's be honest, I Am the Wiener is a little bit vegan here. Justin Forsett, Baltimore, actually not horrible, but he's not on the same rank as C.J. Anderson. Anderson is projected at 14, Forsett 12. Forsett's going to get about 7 this week. C.J. Anderson going against Baltimore. It's kind of funny, dueling running backs, dueling teams. It's not that funny. It happens all the time. C.J. Anderson is actually going to have a really big week this week. 18 points. Big start. Carlos Hyde, San Francisco, going against Minnesota's defense. Always actually pretty decent against the run. Carlos Hyde's first game. I actually really don't know what's going on with that offense. I should as a 49er fan, but no one really knows. Jim Tomsula, no one knows how the offense is going to go. However, I do see Hyde getting into the end zone at least once, at least 60 yards. So that's 12 points for Hyde. And for Jonathan Stewart, I actually really like Jonathan Stewart. I've said that before because DeAngelo Williams is out, and look what he did last time. He's only projected as 8 against Jacksonville. I actually have him going for 2 touchdowns, 80 yards. That's 20 points, people. 20 points. And flex, they both have running backs. Andre Ellington for Wiener and Latavius Murray for Man Inception. Latavius Murray going against Cincinnati. Andre Ellington going against New Orleans. I think Andre Ellington's going to have a great year, especially if Palmer stays healthy, because they're not going to be able to stack the box so much against them. Also see him get a lot more carries this year. And against New Orleans, it's not going to change. They project him at 9. I'm actually going to give him 11. And Latavius Murray against Cincinnati, which has a sneaky good defense. 10 points is not going to happen this week. He's going to start off a little bit slow and give him 8 points. Receivers, you got Man Inception's homer pick, which is Odell Beckham Jr. Everybody's really high on him. I don't understand why everybody's incredibly high on him. He's had one good year. It wasn't an amazing year. It wasn't set the world on fire year. And everybody thinks that he's like Calvin Johnson of 2013. I don't really understand it. I don't see it coming to fruition. He is, however, going against Dallas, which is a nice matchup for him. Still give him only 10 points. And then the other one Man Inception has Mike Evans for Tampa going against Tennessee. They project him at 10. I actually think Mike Evans is going to start off with a horrible game, and he's only going to give you 3 points. I know that's mean, but everybody gets 3 points once in a while. I Am the Wiener, on the other hand, has Randall Cobb, T.Y. Hilton. Really like his receivers. Randall Cobb, they're projecting at 14 against Chicago. Actually give him 18 points against Chicago. And then T.Y. Hilton going against Buffalo. That's a hard matchup. T.Y.'s going to get his stuff. They're going to take chances there. Give him 12 points. I think he's going to get 100 yards. And with our 2-point bonus, that's 12. Tight ends. Dallas Witten for for the Wiener, and Greg Olsen for the Champ. Olsen going against Tennessee, projected at, what is that? 5? 5? Sounds about right. I'll give him 5. And Jason Witten, the Ageless Wonder, going against the Giants. I'm going to slate at 4. He is projected actually at 4. I should have probably checked that earlier. It's really late, and I'm tired. All right. And I don't want to get yelled at by Josh for not doing the videos. All right. Anyhow, defenses, Broncos against Baltimore for Wiener. Bills against Indy for Man Inception. That's a hard one. Love the Bills defense. But their first game against Indy, that's really hard too. Indy's going to put up some points. But, Luck does throw some interceptions too. Give them only 4 points. They're projected at 8. It's going to be a little lower. Broncos against Baltimore. Broncos D actually looks pretty good. I'm going to give them 7 points. And then kickers, Matt Bryant versus Vinatieri. I don't really care. And the one change I would say, Man Inception seemed to bench Devontae Adams right beforehand and put in Mike Evans. I might switch it. I understand week one, so I understand you go with the known entity rather than the who knows what's going to go on. But usually the Packers like to come out fighting with their pass. Anyway, as it sits, I'm actually going to flip it. I think Man Inception scores 88, and I Am the Wiener scores 98, and I Am the Wiener shocks the world in week one. Sorry, champ, you're starting off 0-1. I Am the Wiener. Way to take him out. He really needed to be knocked down a peg. And for God's sakes, Cliff, could you work out a little bit? Honestly, the picture of you half naked with the belt around you wouldn't be so bad if, and only if, you actually went to the gym sometimes. Anyhow, the gods have spoken. Other matchups will be coming probably tomorrow. Bye, guys.